Imagine this. This is not a movie or a video game. It is a thought experiment with a single rule. 100 modern soldiers suddenly appear facing a full Roman army of 20,000 men at the height of the empire. We are not talking about improvised legionaries. We are talking about troops trained from youth, disciplined, fighting in tight formation with iron shields and a military doctrine that conquered half the world. And the question is not whether modern weapons are better. That is obvious. The real question is whether 100 men can defeat 20,000 when war is not only about shooting, but about enduring, moving, supplying, and not breaking psychologically. Stay. Because the answer is not as simple as you think. We are in the 1st century after Christ. Rome dominates Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. It has roads, fortresses, military engineers, and an organization no other empire had achieved before. 20,000 Romans are not a mob. They are legions with officers, centurions, standards, basic logistics, and real campaign experience. Now 100 modern soldiers appear, professionals with automatic rifles, optics, grenades, radios, reconnaissance drones, and advanced combat medicine. But there is a critical condition: no infinite reinforcements, no modern factories behind them, no satellites. What they bring is all they have. First, let's compare the individual soldier. The average Roman legionary is shorter than a modern soldier, wears heavy armor, carries a large shield, a short sword, and a pilum to throw. His effective range is the length of his arm. His protection is physical. His communication is by shouts and horns. A modern soldier has an optical rifle that can kill accurately at hundreds of meters, can fight at night, can talk to his squad by radio, and can see the enemy with drones. In a one-on-one encounter, the modern soldier always wins. He detects first, fires first, and maneuvers better. But war is never one against one. War is groups against groups. And here we are talking about 100 against 20,000. Now let's look at the terrain. If this encounter happens on an open plain, the Romans have a numerical and formation advantage. They can advance in blocks, close ranks, and surround. If it happens in a narrow pass, a bridge, or a closed valley, the story changes completely. 100 modern soldiers entrenched in a bottleneck can kill hundreds before being reached. Location is everything. War is not won only with weapons, it is won with position. Suppose the initial encounter occurs in open ground. The Romans advance in tight formation, shields forward, spears behind, standards visible. To them, the enemy looks ridiculously small. 100 men against 20,000 is a joke. They assume it is a failed ambush or a useless sacrifice. The modern soldiers, on the other hand, see a compact human mass, tactically a perfect target. The first burst of modern fire would be devastating, not out of cruelty, but physics. Bullets punching through wood and thin iron, ranks falling before understanding what is happening, noise they have never heard. The psychological shock would be brutal. For a Roman, an invisible projectile killing at distance is close to magic. The first minute would be a partial collapse. The front ranks would fall before reaching close combat. Officers would try to maintain order. They would shout, blow horns, attempt to reorganize. Rome does not flee easily. But here comes a key factor. The Romans do not know the concept of continuous fire. They are used to arrows, slings, and javelins, not a constant rain of metal. At first they would think it is some new portable catapult. They would not understand where death is coming from. Now think about ammunition. Each modern soldier might carry, say, 300 rounds. 100 soldiers have 30,000 rounds. If each bullet kills or wounds, that means 30,000 potential casualties. On paper, enough to defeat 20,000 Romans, but reality is more complex. Not every shot hits. Some miss. Some overpenetrate. Some are spent in suppression. In real combat, many rounds are used to produce one casualty. So those 30,000 rounds do not equal 30,000 enemies down. Maybe 5,000, maybe 8,000, maybe 10,000 in the best case. That means over time, the modern soldiers start feeling pressure. Every shot counts. They cannot fire carelessly. They cannot maintain constant fire for hours. The Romans, meanwhile, can keep advancing while they still have men. They can lose thousands and still have thousands. The brutal logic of numbers appears. The modern soldier is superior, but finite. The Roman is inferior, but massive. Now comes Roman tactical intelligence. Rome was not stupid. If advancing in blocks becomes suicidal, they would change tactics. They would disperse, use shields as cover, launch waves from multiple directions, not attack in a single line. They would try to surround, cut routes, use terrain. Roman history is full of adaptation. They learned to fight elephants, chariots, and phalanxes. They would also learn, at least partially, against modern weapons. Combat becomes a struggle between distance and proximity. While the Romans are far away, they die. When they get close, they kill. If 1,000 Romans reach close combat, the 100 modern soldiers are in trouble because a rifle is poor against a sword at arm's length. Modern training is not built for shield and spear fighting. Combat becomes physical and chaotic. Technological advantage shrinks. Now think about time. Modern soldiers cannot fight 12 hours straight. They tire, need water, need sleep, need food. Romans too, but they have 20,000 men to rotate. They can rest units. Fatigue starts favoring numbers. Even if thousands die, reserves remain. Imagine day one. The modern soldiers kill 5,000 Romans, a slaughter by ancient standards. But 15,000 remain. Day two, 3,000 more. 12,000 remain. Day three, 2,000 more. 10,000 remain. Meanwhile, ammunition drops. Exhaustion rises. Psychological stress grows. Watching thousands advance without fleeing breaks the mind. Technological superiority does not protect against exhaustion. Consider Roman fear. At first panic, then rage, determination, sacrifice. Roman doctrine accepts death for the unit. Dying in formation is honorable. They do not flee by instinct, only when command collapses. As long as centurions live, order exists. Consider weather. If it rains, rifles work. Drones fly poorly. Visibility drops. Fog reduces range. At night, modern soldiers have night vision, but consume batteries and energy. Every advantage has a cost. Now a different scenario. Confined terrain, a gorge or wall. If the 100 modern soldiers hold a bottleneck, they create hell. Romans must advance in narrow columns. Here, the fight becomes a grinder. 100 well-positioned troops can hold thousands for hours or days. History has parallels. Terrain multiplies force. But here is the critical question. What do Romans do if they cannot advance? They surround, wait, cut water, besiege. Rome mastered siege warfare. They can wait weeks. The modern soldiers cannot. They lack provisions, hospitals, replacements. Siege is the ancient invisible weapon. And one more unsettling factor. Romans would capture technology. They would not understand a rifle, but they would understand it kills. They would use it badly, but use it. Copy tactics. Attack during reloads. Send waves to exhaust ammunition. The tech gap shrinks, not disappears. So who wins? It depends on one thing. Time. If the modern soldiers destroy the Roman command corps quickly and break morale, they win. If the battle drags on, they lose. Not because they are worse, but because they are few. Technology wins the beginning. Numbers win. The end. The uncomfortable conclusion. Could 100 modern soldiers defeat 20,000 Romans in an ambush? Yes. Favorable terrain? Yes. Short direct clash? Probably yes. Prolonged open war without resupply? No. War is not won by who kills faster, but who can keep fighting longer. The real lesson is historical. We think the past was primitive, that 100 men today equal thousands before. But empires are built not with weapons, but with organization and endurance. Rome did not rule the world because of better swords, but because it refused to break. Final answer. The 100 modern soldiers win the initial battle, inflict massive losses, spread terror, become legends of fire. But if Rome refuses to flee and chooses to surround and wear them down, the outcome changes. Technology runs out of bullets, bodies run out of strength, numbers prevail. Now the final question. If you commanded those 100 soldiers, would you seek a quick fight or hide in terrain? Use bullets or intelligence? Is war won with fire or patience? I'll read you in the comments. If you want more impossible scenarios like this, subscribe.